Okay, this shout out is for the Bumpskey Show, and it's from Jerry Bumpskey. And I would like to wish the Bumpskey Show a happy 21st anniversary. Congratulations on being the longest running music, art, and weed culture show on the internet. Longer views, less views than a cat video on YouTube, but just as important. Peace, love, and rock and roll. Less views than a cat video. Hey, you can't compete with animals, man. Don't even try. They're just too cute. We're not. But I'm going to check out the Bumpskey Show. And I'm going to check out Jerry Bumpskey.
Yeah, I can't compete with a lot of things, Tommy. I can't compete with animal videos. I can't compete with women with large breasticles. So there's quite a few things that I can't compete with, unfortunately. It's a shame. I would have thought that peace and love and music and art would be something that's pretty popular. But not necessarily. Not necessarily. Not as popular as titties, that's for sure. Oh well. I'm still trying though. Still trying to show people that music and art and love and caring and all worthwhile things. And today we're going to do it, as you can see right above me here, I got Sons of Mew. So we're going to have Sons of Mew on today. They're from the UK. Actually, one of the members of Sons of Mew will be on the show today. And that'll be Nick. And according to Mark, he's not the drummer. But I'll have to hear that directly from Nick. So Sons of Mew coming up in about, just around a half hour. Live from the UK. Live from Nottingham Forest, I believe. No, I don't know. You know me, I don't know shit about geography. New Jersey, the UK, I don't know the difference. It's all the same to me. It's all the same to me. All right, so let's play some music. Sons of Mew are, I guess, kind of like, there's so many genres of music now, it's just ridiculous. But I think they're space rock, but to me it's just psychedelic rock. That's what I think. Way too many, we're cutting up ourselves into way too many pieces. Everybody's got their own little niche. Their own little, I don't know. Their own little lie that they're living. But not me. No. I'm all about the honesty. That's right. Oh, and if you're new to the show, if you're like a Sons of Mew fan and you're new to the show and you don't know much about the show, we play many different genres of music here at the show. So if you're just looking to bang your head or you're just looking specifically for space rock or one genre of music, you might want to just put a playlist on and listen to a playlist. But if you're looking to expand your mind and learn about new things and new music and all that muck, then you're in the right place. Because this is where we do it. We do all different kinds of music here. And this is Nicole August that we're doing.
What's up, everybody? This is Nicole August, and you are listening to The Bumpskey Show. Hit it! Past the point of forgiveness, I gave it all that I had. I wish wish I never met you. I took the good with the bad. I took a chance on love when I thought all was dead. Fuck that girl, 'cause right now I'm sick to death in my bed. 'Cause this is what it looks like, to be honest. Because you don't know how to keep your promise. If you died tomorrow, I wouldn't miss you. I'd dance on your grave. Can't lie, won't lie, 'cause I won't put this pain on you. I want you to feel the way I do, and hurt the way I do. Want you to feel it, yeah, baby, feel it. All I want was honesty, but you took me for granted, baby. So swallow and choke on my honesty. Forgiveness, and your tired ass excuses. All the lies, they're useless. My honesty cuts through it. I took a chance on you, even when you had nothing. But that fake love we had, now I'm sick to death in my head. 'Cause this is what it looks like, to be honest. Because you don't know how to keep your promises. If you died tomorrow, I wouldn't miss you. I'd dance on your grave. Can't lie, won't lie, 'cause I won't put this pain on you. I want you to feel the way I do, and hurt the way I do. Want you to feel it, yeah, baby, feel it. All I wanted was honesty, but you took me for granted, baby. So swallow and choke on my honesty. I hear some say that you learn from these lessons, yeah. Walk away the bigger person, but I could care less what they say. Doubt they ever had their hearts ripped out and put up on display. Why'd you treat me this way? Now it's my turn to humiliate you, yeah. Can't lie, won't lie, 'cause I won't put this pain on you. I want you to feel the way I do, and hurt the way I do. Want you to feel it, yeah, baby, feel it. All I wanted was honesty, but you took me for granted, baby. So swallow and choke on my honesty.
Nicole August, and this is the Anti-Groupies. Voicemail.
Hey, so I'm
I'm just calling to let you know that you're a bitch. I love you dearly, but I don't mean it. I'm just gonna make you feel sorry, 'cause I am just a narcissist. So here's my bullshit, I'm really full of it. Call me back when you get this. 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 You heard what I said, and you know that I mean it. If you think this song's about you, it probably is. You think that I'm sorry, so you go and call me. Save your voicemail for someone who gives a shit. So there you go, you act like you care about my well-being when you're the one who created all of this. Seems like you love the attention, the drama, good or bad, you love all of it. So here's my bullshit, I'm really full of it. Call me back when you get this. 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 You heard what I said, and you know that I mean it. If you think this song's about you, it probably is. You think that I'm sorry, so you go and call me. Save your voicemail for someone who gives a shit. You heard what I said, and you know that I mean it. If you think this song's about you, it probably is. You think that I'm sorry, so you go and call me. Save your voicemail for someone who gives a shit. If you think this song's about you, it probably is. If you think this song's about you, it probably is. If you think this song's about you, it probably is. If you think this song's about you, it probably is.
The anti-groupies. Look at that. Here's some CC Coletti.
How y'all doing? I can't hear you.
Doing a cover, a Led Zeppelin cover. In the country. CC Coletti and her
I
band.
want you, I want you to clap your hands and stomp your feet. Can you do that? I'm not sure if you heard me. I said to clap your hands and stomp your feet. Come on, you know this song. This is for the country union. I can hardly hear you. Led Zeppelin for
C.C.
you.
Coletti.
We
In the
couldn't
country.
resist on this beautiful day. In the country.
In the country. That's right. I'm in the country of the United States. We're going to have a guest from the country of England, the UK. So we're looking forward to that. Nick from the Sons of Mew. sonsofmew.bandcamp.com. If you want to check out the band before they get here. Before Nick gets here. It's not the whole band. It's Nick from the band. And Mark from Skidmark said that Nick is not the drummer. So he'll have to prove that to us. But Mark says Nick is not the drummer, Jerry. All right. We'll see. But that's coming up in a couple of minutes. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere if you're a Sons of Mew fan. And if you're a Sons of Mew fan, maybe you like space rock. So let's do some Incubus Love Child. How's that? How's that? How does those apples? Let's see. I'm always a space whaling or Ghosts in the Synth or Beyond the Blue Event Horizon. Always favorites of mine. ARI. There's the new Speed Freak demo. So what do you say we just do some Beyond the Blue Event Horizon? How's that sound? And then maybe we'll slip another one in too. But here's Beyond the Blue Event Horizon. Incubus Love Child. IncubusLoveChild.com. Check it out. Skidmark.org. Check it out. Incubus Love Child. Beyond the Blue Event Horizon. And incubuslovechild.com, that's the website. And this is Ghosts in the Synth. The Phantasm Mix. Ghosts in the Synth. IncubusLoveChild.com. Let's do some High Leaf. This is High Leaf. They played this past weekend, and this one's called Vision Quest. High Leaf. HighLeafBand.com. Vision Quest. off of the latest collection from High Leaf, which is called Vision Quest. That's right. Vision Quest. Go to highleafband.com. Check out High Leaf. We're hanging out waiting for Nick from Sons of Mew. So Nick should be showing up in the next couple of minutes, I hope, as long as I didn't screw anything up. Nick will be showing up. Who knows? Anything could happen at any point in time. But I do have the Union Jack behind me. I have the Sons of Mew link up above me. So if you want to check out Sons of Mew, you can go to Bandcamp and check them out. Let's see. What do you say we play some Sons of Mew while we're waiting? How's that sound? Sure, Jerry. Why not? Why not? Sons of Mew. This one's called Walking with Shadows. Sons of Mew on the Bumpskey Show. Walking with Shadows. All right, Sons of Mew. Unfortunately, Nick from Sons of Mew is having an issue getting in. I mean, I tested it with Bumpskey. I just tested it again. I was able to get in. So I'm going to try and create a new chat room and see if we can get Nick in. I feel bad. Nick's been trying to get in and hasn't been able to get in. So let's see if we can just create a whole new room and see if we can get Nick in on that. I hope I can figure out how to set everything up again. Unfortunately, it'll take a second or two to get everything set up. So that was Sons of Mew. Let's see. Create a room. Room name. Let's do Sons. Well, we don't want to give it out to everybody, right? Let's do this. Let's see. All right. Where's the link? Where's the link? All right. Let me see if I could send it over to Nick and see if we can get Nick in on the show. I really feel bad. Like I said, I tested it. I tested it with Bumpskey. So I did everything possible to try and make it as simple as possible. But you know how that goes. It never works. Technology, you gotta love it, right? You gotta love it. It never works. Or it never works when you want it to work. Or as easily as you think it's gonna work. So I try to make it as easy as possible now. Let's see. So hopefully shortly we'll be having Nick from Sons of Mew, and we just saw the video for Walking with Shadows. Walking with Shadows. Come on. Come on. All right, so I just set up a new room, no password. Try that, no password. All right, let's see if we can get Nick. Or maybe Donald Trump is blocking it. Because we got to blame Donald Trump for everything. So maybe it's Donald Trump's fault. Who knows? I don't know. Whose fault could it be? Could it be my fault? I guess. Let's see. Enable director's microphone, blah, 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 blah. All right. So now what? So now I gotta get in here somehow again. I forgot how to do that. Oh boy. Oh boy. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testicles. Incredible testicles. Oh, here we go. I think I got Nick now. Can you hear me, Nick? Can you hear me, Nick? Nick? Can you hear me? We're getting closer. Nick's in the room. So that's a good sign. Let's see. I guess you can hear me. I can't hear you. So maybe you could check your microphone. I just checked to see if I got you muted, and I don't. So maybe you could just check your microphone on your end. I don't know if you can see me. I'm assuming you can. Hello. So everybody on the show, I'm getting Nick in right now. We're working on the audio part of it. There is a little thing that says audio settings. Let's see what we got here. So maybe if you go into your audio settings, I see you got a MacBook Pro microphone, but not seeing. Yeah, I know. I used to use Zoom and all those other things, but this kind of is integrated for this, but I guess nobody really knows much about it. But I'm seeing it definitely identifies your audio device as a Mac Pro. I'm just wondering if you have it like muted, or because I do not have it muted on my end. I checked that a couple of times. I got your volume turned all the way up. Bummer. It's a bummer. Technology. Those aliens on Mew, I'll tell you. You would have thought they could have got this technology a little bit better. I don't know what happened. We're struggling. We're struggling, Mew, continent of Mew. There is a way to chat. Hold on, let me just bring that up. So I do have Nick in on the show. If you guys watching the show, you can see me and Nick doing technical stuff. But basically, I can see you, but I can't hear you. I can see you, but... So it appears that we're like almost there. And like I said, I've checked everything, like all the muting on my end. It's definitely not muted. And it's showing that it sees your microphone as being a... Yeah, I know. You know what? Maybe we'll just have to try and do this some other time as like a Zoom thing, and I'll bring you in through Zoom. I don't think I have Zoom loaded on my machine right now. But if you see... Oh, there you go. I keep dropping out, huh? Okay. Let me see if I have Zoom loaded. Hold on. Maybe I could do something real quick. Zoom. Zoom. All right. Let's see what the hell this is. I haven't used Zoom since the pandemic. Let's see. Email or phone number. You got to be kidding me. All right. And I paid for it too back then. I had like a whole room, and we used to run stuff. And all right, let me see if I could log in real quick. Let's see. Password. Good luck on that one. Let's see if that works. Nope, that didn't work. Let's see if that works. Nope. Let's see if this works. None of them. All right. I got one more try. Nope. All right. I'm just going to tell Nick that we're going to have to reschedule. I'll have to load up Zoom and figure out something through that. What a bummer. I don't know why it's an issue, but it is. So, all right, I'm going to have to apologize. I guess we will have to reschedule. And let you know. Let me try to send join on my phone 1 second. Okay. Give that a shot. So we're gonna see if Nick can join through his phone. And maybe that'll happen. I don't know if he has an Apple phone too or not. And I don't know if he could see me. That's the other thing. It sucks because before I had like everything set up. Let's see. Share a screen. Share a website with your guest. I don't know. All right. Nick's giving it a shot. What do you say we do some, let's do some Sons of Mew while Nick's giving it a shot. Okay. All right. I'm going to do, I'm going to do 7-8 Lemonade, I think. Let's do that. And maybe when he comes back, we'll find out why it's called 7-8 Lemonade. All right, Sons of Mew. Sons of Mew. How do you kick somebody out of here, too? That's the other thing I don't get. Oh, well. Nothing ever works when you want it to. That's what I always say. Nothing ever works when you need it to. So we go on. Sons of Mew.
I've seen, by the time my heart is up, return to your share.
All right. The moment of fucking truth. Is that Nick? Hey, it's
Can you
Nick.
hear me?
And I can hear you, Nick.
Yeah. If in doubt, use your phone.
Yeah. I guess you don't have an Apple phone.
I have an Apple phone, yes. So yeah, but I just logged in on the phone and it worked first time. So hey, I'm here now anyway. So thanks for having me on.
No problem. Now, I goofing around, I said that Nick's probably the drummer. And Mark sent me a message and he's like, no, Nick's not the drummer. So what's your role in Sons of Mew?
I play the guitar and I shout a little bit. So yeah, I'm guitarist and sort of backing vocals.
Okay. And I did do a little research because I know you responded to my little clip like, oh, I'll tell you what Sons of Mew is. So tell us what Sons of Mew is. Go ahead.
So yeah, well, the name is a lot of people say, is it an ode to the KLF, which was this English band who did the Ancients of Mu Mu? No, a lot of people think it's interesting play on the word Mu. It actually comes from an obscure Japanese science fiction film called Atragon, which came out in the 60s, and it's about a flying submarine also that discovers the lost continent of Mu. Which is like an Atlantis myth, and it just comes from that because they try and take over the world, and it's a fun, daft science fiction film, which is pretty cool.
And it does tie into like the research that I did, the continent of Mu, right? It's Mu, it's not Mew, it's Mu.
Some people say, is it Mew? Mew? We're cool. We don't mind. If you call us Sons of Mu, we're fine. If you call us Sons of Mew, we're fine. It's many people use different ways of saying it, and we're fine.
And I was saying it's short for music because I didn't know when I first saw it. I was like, oh, it's short for music, Sons of Mew. But it's these beings from somewhere in the middle of space supposedly came down to Earth, and the continent of Mu was like between, I think, Hawaii and St. Thomas or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also tied in. I mean, it has similar themes like the Atlantis mythology, the Mu mythology. So it's kind of that kind of lost continent of superior race of highly advanced people, which feeds into sort of like cool science fiction films. So yeah, it also looked very good in a font when I started messing around with logos and I put it in a font. I thought, that looks great. And we started the band and didn't even have a songs. And I made some stickers, and everywhere I went, I was putting Sons of Mew stickers just to sort of get interest into the band.
Now, I saw you guys, at least, from what I read on the interwebs, it looks like 2018 was the start of the band.
Yeah, so the four of us got together. We've all been in different bands through all of our lives, and we've known each other, and we just got a bit bored and wanted to do something, so we just started playing, and it kind of all gelled. We had a few lineup changes, but when the singer joined, Neil, he's in another psych band called Cult of Don Keller, and he's old friends of ours, and he just sort of like slotted in, and it just kind of gelled really quickly, and we just wrote lots of music, and then the pandemic happened where we couldn't do any gigs, so we had to do a lot of remote music, and it was really in the past sort of 2.5-3 years where we started. We had Pete Morley who joined on drums along with Ben, bassist Neil, and myself, and we just started playing at some of the psych festivals and psych parties down south with other great bands, and it all just fell into place, and we seemed to sort of get a nice little following together. So yeah, it's been quite a good couple of years.
For those of you in the United States, they have this like culture in the UK where like some guy will set up like a festival in his barn, and it's festival season. And a lot of bands will travel, like Sons of Mu. Their merch girl, Mark, I think met you guys at some of the festivals, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I
mean, we're from Nottingham, but we don't actually do many gigs in Nottingham, and we do. The more of our gigs are always out with the Cosfest crew down in Glastonbury and around there. And to be honest, the response we've had has been far greater, and the crowd's really cool. And we just slotted in really nicely there.
To me, and I know it's like this whole space rock thing and Incubus Love Child and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You guys are kind of like on a punkish kind of psychedelic thing,
Yeah. I think that's a fair point. We take a lot of influences. All of the band members bring their own kind of melting pot of influences into it. We do have psych kind of influences, bands like Spaceman Free, Can. I'm a massive fan of the band Cardiacs, and I love that kind of like edgy British style punk prog that they have. But I think we're quite riff heavy. We like a good riff, and like getting dirty on a good riff, and sort of. But yeah, the psych thing and space rock, we're definitely on a bit more of a punkier edge, definitely.
And speaking of hard rock, I usually don't do this on the show, but it just popped up on my phone that Ozzy passed away.
Yeah, my son is a massive Sabbath fan, and I. Just was literally before I joined Core was messaging my son just to say, because he's a huge Sabbath fan. His favorite guitarist is Tony Iommi, and I mean, for us, I was born in Birmingham as well, so I grew up in Birmingham, and Sabbath to me, I was always more Sabbath than Led Zeppelin. So from my side, it's really sad, Ozzy. I mean, he died at 76, and he must have lived 10 lives in that time.
Yeah, and I'm glad he got to go out the way he wanted to go out.
Yeah.
He really wanted to get this last show in. It was a big deal for him, so that'll live on in history. I saw they're gonna release a movie of it too, so
yeah, that'd be great. And he did it in his home city just before he passed away. Just an absolute legend, and to think back to the music they created. A little parallel where I know this story that when Black Sabbath created, a lot of people thought, oh, they're devil worshippers and this. Now, why are you called Black Sabbath? And they were just like, well, we just like the good old horror films. It's all good fun to us. And like us, we got our name from an obscure science fiction film, and that's just, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all just... See, that's the whole thing. I mean, back in the 70s, those guys were doing stuff that would get them arrested in about 2 seconds today.
Yeah.
So, but that's what made rock and roll,
Yeah, totally agree. And I think back to some of those Sabbath songs, the riffs they had are just so huge. And some of those... I was listening to Planet Caravan just before I came on, because obviously I saw that Ozzy passed away, and that's one of my favourite Sabbath songs. It's just lovely. So it was, I was messaging a friend, and he was saying, no, Snowblind, and I was just like, yeah, it's just so many great songs, and I think those riffs will live on for many years.
Now, the bands that you mentioned that were your influences, are they more punky or more like psychedelic bands?
So I think Can are very krautrock. I think their album Egg Bam Yazzie is quite on our sort of tip. For me, Cardiacs, there I would describe them as probably circus fairground music on LSD. But I would say that we're nowhere near the song 7/8 Lemonade you played. When I came at that, because I'm nowhere as talented as players like in Cardiacs, but you wondered why it was called 7/8 Lemonade, and we thought it was a 7/8 time signature, and lemonade kind of rhymed with it, so we made 7/8 Lemonade, and that was the title. It was only when a far better musical friend turned around and said, "You realise it's in 7/4?"
Because I noticed, like, some places, like on the new vinyl, is it called 7/8 Lemonade on there, or is it just called Lemonade? Oh, it is?
No, it's 7/8 Lemonade, yeah.
Okay, all right. So maybe it was just like on YouTube or something. I saw it somewhere. I'll show the vinyl in a second. You heard me mention Sons of Moo, their merch girl, Mark. So I'm assuming Mark walked up to you guys at a show and said, I really like you guys, and...
Mark is just like, he's an all-round top guy, and he saw us at the first Cosfest party, which is our first kind of gig down with the Psych crew down in Glastonbury, and he just loved us. And he was like, okay, and he wanted to buy a T-shirt, and I was in touch with him online and got him a T-shirt, and then he came and saw us at a couple of other gigs. And then I just sort of got chatted to him, and he said he was, he has his own label, Skidmark, and I was just like, well, we were at that time spending ages writing and recording the latest album, Are You Tired of Being Human? And I just said, well, I started sending him some of the tracks on it, and he was like, yeah, I'd love to do it. And it just kind of all aligned really nicely. Mark's, so passionate about the music, and he does it purely for the love, and is an absolute, stalwart when it comes to the supporting kind of like independent musicians and bands, and the level of detail, getting the white vinyl and putting it out there. He's really done a great job for us, and it's just nice to sort of have the physical artifact of the white vinyl record in my hands now, and very, very pleased with it. Mark's done a fantastic job.
Speaking of which, hold on 1 second. Let me just get up here for a second. Oh, there we go. All right. Just so happens, I have my copy right here, so let's show it off a little bit. So here's the cover. Thanks to Mark and Skidmark for sending it to me, because the problem I have is I'm broke. I'm a working man. And the shipping to the United States is more than the album itself.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. So Mark sent me over the white vinyl. I have the white vinyl here. And Mark at Skidmark does an incredible job with the packaging.
Yeah.
His Incubus Love Child albums are beautiful. It's like artwork. So yeah. It's incredible. And speaking of his dedication to indie music, I met Mark about 21 years ago. Never met him in person, but he found my show somehow. And I'm just getting ready to finish my 25th year of broadcasting independent artists on the internet. And
well done.
Thank you. And he started listening to the show, and he was really into it. And there was a band that he really liked called the Bullfrogs. And he kept on saying to me, Jerry, can't you just give me the songs? And I promised the bands that I would never give away their music. It's not mine to give away. I'll play it until I die, but I won't give it away. So Mark wanted this one CD, and I was like, dude, I don't know, tape my show and pull it off my show or whatever, but I can't give it to you. I promised. So he spent 20 years going to record stores and CD shops, and finally, like about 3 or 4 years ago, he emailed me, and he's like, Jerry, you're not going to believe it. Now, this is an independent band from Long Island, New York, and he was in a record store in, I guess, in Shrewsbury, right? Isn't he from
Yeah, that's where he's from, yeah.
And he found the CD there. So Mark is incredible. Yeah, he really is a huge supporter of music. He's done some other things for Nigel and Lords of Form.
Yeah.
And incredible supporter of music, and spends his own money, and is just as stupid as I am. So, and he would have been here today, but his mom's in the hospital, and he had to go take care of his mom. So I hope his mom gets better.
Yeah.
Something we all have to deal with, though. Our parents get old, and we're going to have to deal with it ourselves. We're going to be old, and people are going to think we're a pain in the ass. I'm only 63, and people think I'm a pain in the ass. So,
no, good, and congratulations on 25 years. That's quite a milestone.
Yeah, if you want to record a little, congratulations thing and send it to me, that would be awesome.
We'll do. Hopefully with all of the band next week, so I'll try and do it with all of us, and I'll try and do a kind of a that'd be great.
Just take your cell phone and do a little Jerry, you dick, congratulations video. Jerry, you wanker.
Thank you for playing our music as well. It's great to hear that it's being played over in the States.
I love like all different kinds of music, except for I will put the caveat of rap and like some of the poppy country music. I like some of the older country music, but some of the glossy poppy country music I can't deal with. And violent rap. I don't mind rap, But yeah, it's just like that bitch hoe rap I can't deal with. You know?
Yeah.
So
Well, I think. Yeah, sorry, go on.
we play everything on the show, so it's not like a playlist. So if you like Sons of Mew and all you're gonna get is like punk, or all you're gonna get is space. So that's kind of what makes us different than just going on Spotify and playing a playlist.
Yeah, yeah. That's important because you're kind of bringing, you're an independent voice and you bring all of the music together, and that's important. Like I said, in our band, we pull our influences. I'd never say we were just punk. The last song on the album is quite ambient. It sort of draws a lot of notes from ambient music, and we're electronica and things like this. So from our side, we try and pull influences from all over the shop and not try and pigeonhole ourselves into one particular genre or type of music.
And that song's called "It Never Stops," right? I played that the other night, which is a really great song. I mean, I grew up in the '60s, '70s.
Yeah.
So my dad would listen to like Paul Anka and Frank Sinatra and all that stuff. Around me, I'd be hearing all that '60s rock, like Zeppelin and all that stuff. My brother was more into like singer-songwriters like, Jim Croce and stuff like that. So I was getting bombarded from every genre of music, and I loved it all. Like I've seen everybody in concert. It was amazing. Like one week I'd be seeing Olivia Newton-John, and then the next week I'd be seeing Pink Floyd,
Yeah. Wow. I think, that's a really important point from my side. My point, I was very fortunate to have an older brother who would get all the cool records, and being the younger brother, I'd be able to kind of listen to a lot of cool music at a younger age than most of my contemporaries. But I remember my brother had a huge amount of David Bowie records. And when I was like from 10 upwards, we'd listen to them all the time. And that music stayed with me all my life. But it's been funny how I think back in my earliest musical memories of listening to those kind of records. And having, spending our pocket money on 7-inch vinyl records at the weekend and stuff like this. And it's been very fortunate to have kind of music as part of my life ever since I was a really small child. So it's been important for me.
And for me, it's always been about like music is social. Okay, music, weed. Here in the United States, I live in New Jersey. Weed is legal in New Jersey. It's all social things, like when I was a kid, like I was saying, one week I'd go see Olivia Newton-John, the next week I'd be seeing Pink Floyd, because sometimes I didn't even know, like my brother drugged me to No Nukes in 1979 to see Bruce Springsteen because I didn't give a shit about Bruce Springsteen. But I went because I knew it was going to be a party. I knew when I walked through that curtain at Madison Square Garden, I wouldn't be able to see the person next to me because there was so much pot smoke. And we'd all be having a great time, So a lot of times I went just for the experience, and I walked away a huge fan,
I think that's important. When I think back to the greatest gigs I've been to, I feel like I've been taken by that band on a journey, and I've been part of something. And I mentioned a band who my particular favorite band called Cardiacs, and some of the greatest gigs I've ever been have been at their gigs. Sadly, the singer's passed away now, but when I was much younger, I felt like I'd been on an emotional roller coaster through those gigs and come out of it having an experience. And those kind of things really, really stick with you. And whether it's other bands that those experiences that live music is able to give you is just insane. And when we play live, we try and make it like we don't play live often. We do 5 or 6 gigs a year because we'd rather play really good gigs than playing pubs here, there, and everywhere. And when we do, we try and we leave everything on stage. We don't try and sort of hold back, and we try and really sort of an old school of me. You talk about like you're listening to people like Frank Sinatra. You're putting on a show in the end of the day, and that's the most important thing. And you want to try and take the audience with you and on a journey. And that's what we try and do in live shows. And we try our best anyway.
Yeah, my son's in a band out of Philadelphia, and they're called High Leaf. And I tell them all the time, like one time when Bob Seger was at the peak, it was like 1976, and Night Moves just came out, and I went and saw him at Madison Square Garden, and I was so pumped, like Bob Seger, this is going to be great. And he must have been pissed or something at somebody that night. It was like the worst show. I never listened to Bob Seger again. So I tell my son all the time, doesn't matter if there's one person in the audience or 100,000, you got to put on a good show because everybody's going to have their own experience, and you're the person that's creating that experience.
Yeah. I could tell you a funny story. I was fortunate when I grew up. I joined a band with my brother that I was like, do I do a law degree or do I tour with the band? And I ended up touring with the band and not doing the law degree, and moved to Nottingham where I live now, and joined and was in the band with my brother and some really close friends. And second gig we did in Nottingham, the promoter had cancelled it without telling us, and this is in the early 90s. So we turned up at this pub venue, and the landlord was like, well, look, if you want to play, feel free, but it's like a Tuesday night and in the gig room, so if anyone turns up, you're lucky. So we just thought we'll treat it as a rehearsal. So anyway, we set up, we start playing as like, oh, let's just treat it as a rehearsal. No one in there, playing in front of a room full of nobody. And suddenly this crowd of about 20 people walked in. It's this pub. Great, we've got an audience. So we started playing. And this crowd walked right up to the front of the stage, stood there and stared at us vacantly like this. And we were playing, and I was getting a bit freaked out. What are these people doing looking at us? Then one person turned to the person next to them, looked at each other, and started to sign to them. The other person signed back. Basically, it was the School of the Deaf had come to this pub, I think like college or something, and they walked in and we were playing. So our second gig was in front of a room full of 20 deaf people. So, but we still tried to put on a show.
I'm sure they could still feel the vibration too.
Exactly.
So that, that's what it's about too. It's just about the vibe,
Yeah.
And even if, like, I tell my son, if you're missing notes or whatever, I don't know. People in the audience don't know. You just got to keep on having a good time, man.
Yeah, I think that I say the same thing to my son. My son's far more talented guitarist than I would ever be. He's got the real potential to be something special. But I just say to him, like, you just got to try and seize it and enjoy it. And he's studying music performance as well, so he's gonna have a lot more musical knowledge than me.
Hey, some of the best musicians had no knowledge, so
yeah.
Sometimes it's creativity, sometimes it's knowledge. It's just sometimes it's the right mix of different people with different skills.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I'm not a guitarist who's going to get on stage and start noodling, playing solos or like super fast. That's just not my style. I like playing heavy riffs. I like it where I like the spaces in between music just as much as the noise as well. And the song you talked about, It Never Stops, we try and leave, when we play that live, we try and leave so much space to just give it that kind of, let the song breathe almost. And I think that's just as important. I can't remember which musician said it's not about the notes you play, it's about the notes you don't play. And sometimes that has just can have as much impact when you're playing live.
And fans don't realize that, but sound is all about putting sounds in different frequencies where it belongs. Like when they do mixing and stuff, like my son's into mixing and all that stuff, and he'll go, oh no, yeah, that's something hurts, Dad. That's exactly right there. That's what you need to. And it's amazing. Like I started to learn some things because I have video and audio from 25 years ago that sounded like shit. So like even with you guys, I took your live stuff and I did a little mixing on it, ran it through the EQ just to get some of that muddiness out of a couple of the videos that were up on YouTube. And I'll play one. This might be a good time to do it. And you could tell me if you hear any kind of difference in what I did and what you guys already had.
Cool.
Let's see. Which one's... Oh, you know what? I don't think it was Think Tank, though. Think Tank's one of my favorites. Let's see. Sons of Mu. Sons of Mu. All right, so let's see. I think 78 Lemonade, that was a live one. Think Tank up on YouTube isn't a live one, right? That's a...
It is a live one, but what we did was, as we recorded that live, Ben, who does all the mixing, he did just put 7 or 8 mics in the room and did a live mix, which then we could kind of sync up with the video. So all of the mixing of the album was done by Ben Lappin, the bassist, and he's done just a sensational
Yeah,
job.
I don't think I touched that. Is it Dopamine or Dopamine?
Dopamine, yeah.
Dopamine, that's a live one, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's do that one. You're not going to be able to see the video, but you'll be able to hear
That's cool.
it. All right, you ready? You want to give a little background behind this, or you want me to just hit it?
No, Dopamine was actually the title of our first album, which we kind of recorded with the original lineup. And Dopamine's kind of like a gnarly 2.5-minute punk song. But Neil, who's fantastic lyrics, came up with just some of the lyrics in that song are superb. And yeah, give me dopamine, give me my dopamine hit. So yeah, play it.
Okay, let's go. Here we go.
This is about the Chameleon supporting the Warlocks.
All right, so that's Dopamine. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, we're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was us supporting the Warlocks, I think. Famous, I think, San Fran psych band.
Yeah, the Warlocks, wasn't that the original name of the Grateful Dead?
I think you're right, yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was. Now, did you hear a difference in the sound on that, or no, not really?
It's hard because I'm on the phone speaker, so
Yeah.
It's very, with the compression of the phone, it'd be really hard for me to make a difference.
So why don't you introduce the rest of the guys in the band?
Yeah, so I'm Nick, I'm the guitarist, and then we have Neil Marsden, who's the vocalist, and he also does all the synths and keyboards. On drums, we have Pete Morley, who also does backing vocals, and on bass, we have Benedict Lapin. He's the great bass player, and he also does all of the mixing and recording for the album. So he put in an absolute shift to get that album where it is. So yeah, we're a 4-piece, and we try and make a lot of noise for the 4 of us.
Now, I think you said that you and the bass player were like the original 2.
With originally, yes, we had a different drummer, and then when we started, before we were even called Sons of Moo, we were just sort of getting together and jamming, and then the singer who we were jamming with it wasn't working out for whatever reason, and Ben had the idea of, he was in bands with Neil, the singer, before, and he just got him to come along and played him a mix of some of the tune we were working on, which was the very first song of our first album, a song called Falling Down in Flames. And we played it him, and Neil came with some ideas, and we literally got in the room and played the song, and he played straight away, and it just kind of all gelled, and it really worked. So it was, I think Neil just went at the end of that first practice, shit, have I joined a new band? Like, yep.
So you guys never actually recorded anything with the original singer?
No, we did a couple of things, but it was before we were called Sons of Moo, so
Okay.
It was just like, it was only when Neil really joined that we that we started really working on the songs and then getting the name, and that was like it all progressed from there really. And Neil joining was the catalyst for the sort of the acceleration of the ideas.
And what's the writing process like? You guys all write your own parts, or?
It varies. We have our own space, which is, our own studio space. We just walk in, it's all set up and jammed, and Ben's got it like everything's mic'd up, so every rehearsal we can just do a quick mix of, and so Ben will often have an idea, or I'll have a riff, like I'm just trying to think of the song Mugshot on the new album. Ben had that riff in his head, and the Neil and Pete couldn't come down and rehearse, so Ben got me down to the studio, locked the doors, and made me learn the riff over and over till I got it done. So then we nailed that and did like a mix of it, sent it to Pete and Neil. So when they came down and we started working on it, Neil takes the mix away. Then by the next rehearsal, he's come down with lyrics and this. So it kind of becomes like an evolving process. But the ideas come from me, come from Pete, come from Neil, or come from Ben, and we just kind of like bounce them off each other. So some of the songs, Marshmallow, the first song on the new album, has been an idea we've had for 4 or 5 years, and we never quite got it anywhere, and it just kind of one day we went back to a mix, listened to it, and went, oh, there's an idea in there, and we managed to kind of lick it into shape. But we try and capture as much as possible, and that really aids the writing process to try and sort of come up with ideas.
Now I'm gonna assume, like you said, you do about 5 gigs a year, so all you guys are working guys, right?
Yeah. We all work. I mean, we've all got paying jobs. We can't afford to live off Sons of Moo. No. But for us, it's like when we got together originally, it was like we want to enjoy ourselves and we want to get shit done. That was like the thing when we were cool. That was the sort of like motto. It's got to be fun, and we've got to get shit done. And we all have busy lives. We all got families, and we all have sort of like 9 to 5s, as it were. So the time we spend together is really important, and it's got to be enjoyable. And I have to say, when we've done some of the gigs, when I think back to the gigs where Mark first saw us, they've been so amazing and enjoyable, and it's down to, like, as you said, the crowd and the atmosphere. So yeah, we all have to kind of balance our 9 to 5s with doing Sons of Moo.
And the reason I said that is the guys, they don't have a website. They use Bandcamp as their like home base and social media. When I was trying to get information, there's like nothing about who's in the band. Everything is Sons of Moo. And even on the album, I was just looking like for writing credits. The whole band, it's kind of like the Doors. Everybody's getting credit for everything, which is cool. Yeah. So it's just a bunch of guys trying to have a good time and be creative at the same time, which is the best kind of music.
Yeah, and we went for the writing credits. We didn't. Some of the songs kind of overlapped when we had our original drummer. So it seems like Sons of Moo is a catch-all for any past, present, future people that join the group and are part of our creative process. So for us, it's like also adds a little bit of mystique, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, most of the time people have too much information out there, so it's nice
Yeah.
when you don't have like what you had for breakfast posted. So I'm glad to see that.
Yeah, we're not like. I mean, I don't think there's much ego in our band at all, and that's a good thing. We put a lot into it, and we get a lot of enjoyment out of it. And the creative process is important, and the end result, thanks to Mark having the physical artifact in your hand to say this is us, is it's an absolute joy.
Yeah, and my son is 38 years old, so he's in a band now for I don't know, 15 years, and it started out as one name, and now they're High Leaf, and it's a whole process. And he sells insurance for a living, so that's not how he makes money. And it's just to be able to be creative is basically, and that's what a lot of bands now are. And I think we're going to see music come back big time, because the people that are really doing it, I mean, everybody's doing it, and with effects, anybody can sound good. I could sound good. But I've always said the way you could tell a good band is go see them live. And that's it. There's nowhere to hide.
There is nowhere to hide except all of my effects pedals, which mask my attempts at playing guitar and make the sounds stranger. But no, that's an important thing for us. It's like, live, we've got to be able to stand out live, and we've got to be able to, and I think that's where Mark first, was really taken with us, was because he saw us live and he was just like, yes, you've been the best band I've seen all summer. And I was like, blimey, that's a hell of a compliment. So it was like, got a lot to live up to now with it when we send him the mixes for the record. So, but fortunately he loved it. And he's done a fantastic job with the record.
And that's amazing about Mark too, because Mark is more of a band in the box kind of guy.
Yeah.
He plays, most of the time I think he's playing rhythm, but sometimes he'll play lead and he's singing, and then everything else is pretty much either, a recording or some kind of synth pedal he's hitting off or something like that. But, and I know he's always wanted to do the whole band thing, but it is so difficult when you're not making money for a living to explain to your wife how you're spending, or girlfriend, how you're spending hours and hours with other people, and there's no monetary gain from it,
Oh, I say that to my wife. It's like, if this is the midlife crisis I'm having, it's not a bad one.
I could be cheating on you, or I could be in a band. Your choice.
Well, there's the old saying, isn't it? It says, my fear in life is when I die, my wife will sell my guitars for what I said they cost.
That's the truth, right? Are you a guitar collector? Do you have a whole bunch? Or?
I've got 10 at the moment.
That's pretty good.
So, I mean, unfortunately, I work in the music industry as my day job, so I kind of have, I do have a little bit of access to some stuff. But my main gigging guitar, the one I use, is the Fender Jazzmaster. It's like a 90s Japanese Jazzmaster. I love it. And I had the bridge replaced, so it just locks the tune, and it's a fantastic guitar. But I've recently ticked off a guitar bucket list. I've always fancied a Gibson Explorer, and I recently bought a Gibson Explorer. So it's quite a bold statement to play that one live. I'm not sure I'm going to do that, but I've always had a bit of a soft spot for an Explorer. So I've scratched that itch now, and I've got a Strat, I've got a PRS, I've got like another couple of Ibanez, but I just keep going back to the Jazzmaster for gigging. For me,
would you guys ever do anything like Britain's Got Talent or?
What they say, we've got great faces for radio, so I don't know. I think we've kind of there is like this sort of culture in the UK. We have things like Battle of the Bands and stuff like that, and it's not really for us. I don't think I mean, we used to have a website, but to be honest, most of the traffic we were getting coming to us was either YouTube, Facebook, and Bandcamp, really, and that's where we were getting. So I didn't bother spending the money on keeping the website going because we're just not getting the traffic. And to be honest, even the streaming platforms like Spotify, the returns are so ridiculously small. It's just about having the music easily accessible there. But I'm a vinyl collector. I love records, and for me, that's that holding of a physical record, the sleeve notes, the picture, the artwork. That's for me really important.
Me too, definitely. I don't know if you've seen, I do play vinyl on the show, and we play all the digital, the video, so we try and play all kinds of media on the show. And I love the vinyl too. There's just something about putting the needle on vinyl that makes it so much better.
Yeah, it's the. I go back, like I said at the start, when I was used to be a kid and getting pocket money and going to town to buy a record. That was like my kind of that was amazing as a when I was buying. And then when you could be a teenager, going into record shops and being able to buy. I always remember buying when I was about 15. Walked into a record shop and bought Axis Bold and Love by Jimi Hendrix and taking it home, and I just loved the cover. And I thought, I took it home and listened to it back to back. So for me, that record experience is important.
So that was your first record that you could remember buying?
Oh no! The first one I remember buying was a song called "Our Friends Electric" by Tubeway Army, Gary Newman. I was about 8, and I loved that song. And my brother was into a band called Boomtown Rats, and he was listening to those all the time. But I got into Gary Newman, and I just bought every Gary Newman record from about age 8.
Gary Newman Cars, right?
Yeah, that was the second record I ever bought.
I remember Gary Newman. I was when I was a little kid, really young, 45s were big.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Sugar by the Archies or something like that, probably 1969, somewhere around there. And then the first album, I got a job, and I was making, I think, $7 a week, and a cassette cost $7, I think. And wow. I used to walk around town with a boombox on my shoulder, my whole childhood. Every Christmas, I'd get a new boombox. And I'd take it into the woods and drink beer and smoke weed and play music. So, but the first cassette I ever bought was probably Kansas Left Overture. And like I said, I've seen everybody, not as far back as the 60s, but the 70s, I've seen Neil Diamond, I've seen Aerosmith, I've seen Kiss, I've seen Springsteen, all in their prime, the Stones, Pink Floyd.
It's funny you say Neil Diamond. One of my favourite live albums of all time is Hot August Night by Neil Diamond.
Yeah, Neil Diamond was the shit, man. He was good live.
Astonishing album. Brilliant album, that.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's why you got to be open to all different kinds. I say great music is great music. People still listen to Beethoven. So I play bands that were around for 6 months and now they're gone. But that doesn't mean the music still isn't great.
The music lives on.
That's it. Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do here. Like a lot of the music that I first started playing, I have this band from Iceland that these 15-year-old girls sent me a cassette 25 years ago. I think they just broke up, but it's a band called Mamut. And basically they were around for 20-something years.
That's really cool. And, there's that's why the physical copy of a record is so important, because that's how once that you have that record, that's it. Your music lives on then. So, yeah. Regardless of how long we're all shuffling around, that becomes the future. That music then just lives on forever.
That's the truth. All right, I guess you got to go to work tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, tomorrow I've got work.
What are you, behind the scenes in the music industry? Or?
I work for a company that manufactures recording studio equipment. So we build. One part of the company builds synthesizers, and the other part we do recording studio audio interfaces. So I've worked in music technology for 25 years now, or longer even. 27 years now. So I've been working in the music technology. So yeah, that it's in the industry I love, and for me, it's like I qualified as a sound engineer back in the mid to late 90s, and of course, there's no sound engineer jobs, so I started getting into music technology and working building computers to make music, so audio computers, and then started sort of working away, and then all that time later, I'm managing kind of like managing Europe, Middle East, and Africa for a company that builds synthesizers, studio gear, and stuff like that.
So you got to talk to the owners, and you want some of your gear on the longest running show on the internet. See, you and I are nerds, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, because here's the scoop. Check this out. You want to know how Bumpskey started?
Go on then.
I do this show from a condominium in New Jersey where Les Paul used to live, Mahwah, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay, so I live in the town that Les Paul was in. All right, and I'm sitting here, and my friend's going to me, Jerry, we're in a cover band in New Jersey. We go home on Friday and Saturday night. We smell like alcohol, and our wives go, "Where's the money?" And we don't have any money to give them. So I go to him, well, how can I help you guys? And he goes, well, I'd like to be played on the radio, but nobody will play us on the radio because we're not the Beatles or the Rolling Stones. And I go, well, I can play you guys better than the radio. I can play you worldwide. And he's like, get the fuck out of here, Jerry. You don't know what you're talking about. And I go, no, listen, at work, because I was a computer guy, I did desktop support and I ran IBM mainframes until every dickhead out of college now has a computer science degree, but doesn't have any idea what they're doing. So I go to him, yeah, I can play you guys around the world. He goes, no, I just want to get on college radio. I'm like, dude, when I leave the college's parking lot, I can't hear you anymore. You'll be able to hear me around the world. So, of course, you didn't understand because this was late 1999, early 2000. So I go, listen, I'm going to start this show and I'm going to start playing all these bands that can't get any exposure. So, of course, I got to figure out how to do it. So I get a T1 line put into my condominium in 1999 so I could broadcast. And I find a company in Colorado that does business meetings, video conferencing and audio conferencing. And I get them to carry my show. And that's how Bumpskey started. It was $3,500 a month when I first started. Wow. This was before YouTube. This was before, I don't know, name Podomatic, Podcast. It was before everybody. So if you can get your bosses to give me some good microphones and gear and shit, they'll be on the longest running show on the internet. Nobody has more broadcasting hours. Because when I first started, it was costing so much money. I was doing 12-hour-a-day shows.
Yeah.
And bands would just show up and be like, oh, this is pre-recorded. And they would knock on my door just to see if it was real that I was doing shows for 12 hours a day.
Well, I'll certainly drop you a line and see what you need.
Yeah, send me toys. I'll talk about toys all the time. I don't care. I love it. You know, you see me, it's like I'm sitting in my bedroom in my condominium right now. I got the green screen. And, you know, I do have a what is it, an SP7, the Shures?
Yeah.
I have one of those, but I'm not using it. What am I using now? I think I'm using the Yamaha something for a microphone. And then when it came to the cameras, I met this guy. He's like, Jerry, just get what all the porn stars use. So I got like all these little eyeball cameras because he's like, they got the best. It's like 4K, the porn. And I was like, you know what, dude, you're right. So I got a little eyeball camera. When we first started early on in the internet, I got this camera and we're testing it out. And I got my my future wife at the time. She was my girlfriend at that time. And her daughter. And we're sitting around the computer and we're like, okay, we're going to check out video conferencing for the first time. And it's some guy in Poland showing his junk. From like 2000 to 2010, nobody knew what to do with the cameras other than guys. They would just point it at their junk, and that was it.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's very important. It was so much more difficult back then. And the one thing, a lot of people bemoan things like Spotify, and rightly so, the return on artists. But at least now, with with social media platforms, at least with things like YouTube, we're allowed to we can get a reasonably good reach with our music. We would have never been able to do 25 years ago, just by being active in these places. It doesn't earn you any money, but at least gets your music out there. So for us, that's like really important in the end of the day. The more people listening to us and the more people enjoy our stuff, great.
Well, the whole thing I say now is if you want to support a band, I mean, the music is pretty much free, so just buy the merch. Buy a T-shirt, buy a coffee mug, whatever it is.
And we do have some very good T-shirts available.
Hey, I got my Incubus Love Child, right?
Hey,
which
I'll
is
get you a Sons of Me one.
Which is Skull Cap, right? Same thing as you guys, right?
They do ours as well. Skull Cap do our T-shirts.
Yeah, you guys
they're great.
You guys got a really cool one with an eyeball. I saw that one.
Yes. Yeah.
That's nice. I like it.
I'll get you one.
All right. Extra fat for me, okay? All right, buddy. I'm going to let you go, but you got to...
I was just going to say thank you so much for sharing your time with me. It's been really good, and happy that you enjoyed the album, and absolute pleasure.
And I'm glad you finally got in. Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Yeah,
and
sorry about that.
whenever you want to come back, and if you want to bring the other guys with you, whatever, let them know they're more than invited.
Brilliant. I really appreciate that. And thanks again for your support, and congratulations on 25 years.
Oh, thank you very much. Peace.
Peace. Take care, man. See
Take
you
it
later.
easy. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. So let's play some Sons of Mew. That was Nick from Sons of Mew, guitar player. Nick, Sons of Mew. Off to go to work, unfortunately. The life of a rock star. So I was talking about think tank, so let's do a little think tank. How's that? Sons of Moo. It's not Mew, it's Moo. This is Think Tank. All right, that was Sons of Moo. And this is Neil Fox. The real NeilFox.com. The good in us.
I heard the terrifying news today. The lady said that I was full of hate. She said our history would die away. She said that we were never really great. And then she said I'd never be her brother, that we would have to pay for what we've done, that we could never learn to live together, and life would be much better when we're gone. Oh, you tell me what you see. Oh, are you a slave or are you free? We must open up our eyes long before we turn to dust, 'cause the blind will never see the good in us. Then someone said it's in our DNA, embedded in us from the very start. He told us how he struggles to this day, and many thought he spoke right from the heart. Then once again the lie was resurrected. Then once again they showed us how to hate. And once again our souls became infected, and violence and fear would be our fate. Oh, won't you tell me what you see? Oh, are you a slave or are you free? We must open up our eyes long before we turn to dust, 'cause the blind will never see the good in us. No, no. From childhood through college graduation, they teach them there are things not to discuss. Hypnotic and myopic education, and the blind will never see the good in us. A wise man said, don't judge them by their color. We need to see the character within. All races have their villains and their heroes. You only need to look beyond the skin. Oh,
Neil Fox, therealneilfox.com. That's right. Good in Us. Neil Fox. Neil trying to spread the word about the good in us. We're trying to spread the word about the good in us. It's in there. All you gotta do is reach down deep. It's in there. TheRealNeilFox.com. Check out Neil Fox. The good in us. The good in us. Well, wasn't that a great show, huh? I always love having somebody on the show. It's always good to have somebody to talk to. Nick, Sons of Moo, killer. Killer interview. Great guy, good time. Much love. I could feel the love. And he was a trooper. He tried. He tried to get into the show. So, Nick is a trooper. Guitar player. Songwriter. Sons of Moo. Go to bandcamp.com. Type in Sons of Moo. Go to skidmore.org. Better yet. Go to skidmore.org. Sons of Moo. Make sure you get their latest. Buy their t-shirt. Help support the band financially. Right? Right. Buy the music. Buy the merch. Even if somebody gave you the music and you like it, go buy it. This way they'll make more. It's not that hard. Easy concept, right? Oh, look, I left my lava lamp all the way on the other side of the room. Let me bring it back over here. I can't believe I did that. Jerry, what's wrong with you? Jerry, what's wrong with you? You left your lava lamp. You left your words over on the other side of the room. There. That's a little better. Get your shit together. Had a very nice time with Nick. Sons of Moo. Sons of Moo. All right. Don't forget, be good to each other. Take care of each other. Love each other. Respect each other. If you can't do all of that at once, start with respect. Once you respect somebody, then you can probably care about them. And if you respect and care about them, if something happens to them and they need help, you might help take care of them. And then if you respect them and you care about them and you help take care of them, you might learn to love them. And then look at that. You're a human being again. You've gotten back all those things they try to take away from you. Good for you. I'm damn proud of you. All right? Sedite? Sedite. God willing, I'll be here tomorrow. Once again, I want to thank Nick from Sons of Moo for an excellent conversation. Peace, everybody out there. Sending peace around the world. Everybody in the world. We want everybody in the world to get that peace and love. And always remember and never forget.
It's chicken party time.
Get busy living or get busy dying. That's goddamn right. Peace.
If you could stand for our national anthem, that would be fantastic. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave. God bless the USA.